Hi, this is Pat Sherlock, and today I will cover QFS's Pre-Hire Assessment and how to use the report and why it helps managers to improve their sales hiring results. Hiring the right originator is not easy. The candidate is at their best behavior when you are recruiting and rarely shows the real self in an interview. This is why so many firms have high turnover, because they do not delve deep enough in determining whether the person has the right sales talent for mortgage origination. Looking at W-2s and where the person worked is not enough. Research shows that this approach is only successful 25% of the time. Then there are the legal risks when branch managers don't interview the same way when hiring originators. On top of that, regulators, including the Consumer Finance Board, are looking closer at companies' hiring practices. The end result is that poor sales numbers happen because the candidate does not have the right talent to prospect and bring customers to the lender. What can a company or manager do to improve their sales success? Installing a structured hiring approach that includes pre-hire assessment testing generates better sales results. With the right assessment test, a mortgage company can improve their production results, whether a firm's business is retail or wholesale or correspondent, by standardizing the interviewing process and using objective screening tools. Let me tell you about QFS's pre-hire assessment that can help you when interviewing sales candidates. Our assessment is customized to the mortgage industry and has helped many companies improve their sales performance. We are 70% accurate just by using the assessment. Our research of successful originators started back 16 years ago with our industrial psychologists validating what personality characteristics predict mortgage sales success. We know mortgage lending and are experts on top originators and what it takes to be successful. My own corporate background was in turning around mortgage teams, so I know the mortgage industry well. Our assessments have helped lenders such as BB&T, Franklin American, Academy, and Connecta become industry leaders. What makes our assessment superior to the competition is that we use scientific standards to determine and predict sales success. First off, we look at origination success in three ways. One, starting with production numbers from a company's top, middle, and low performers. Two, by having managers rate their sales employees. And three, by calculating a score from how originators have answered our questionnaire. Our science approach uses a correlation coefficient methodology to determine is there a significant relationship and not a random occurrence between how the assessment was answered by the candidate and our model, which is composed of top, middle, and low originators' input. This is important because just measuring top producers, or what is called benchmarking, does not give an accurate prediction. So let's look at a sample report. There are 4 parts in the report. First, the prediction component. Second, a summary of a candidate's strengths and weaknesses. Third, custom behavioral questions for the interview, which managers love. And fourth, a future forecast of what it will be like to manage the candidate if the manager was to hire them. So let's take a deeper dive. Our assessment evaluates 9 personality characteristics that are listed in the first box, starting with energetic to positive about people. How the candidate measures on each personality trait is analyzed, and the results translate to the 3 boxes at the bottom of the page. Red represents a fail grade of avoid, which means that the candidate should not go further in the interview process because they have less than a 50% chance to be successful. The 2 green boxes represent pass grades, which means to continue the interview process because they have a greater than 50% chance of being successful. The lines in the first box represents the norm for a specific personality trait, and the small box represents where the candidate fell on that specific trait. The sales personality box is what drives the prediction box at the bottom of the page. 9 personality traits are energetic, follows through or focus, optimistic, resilient, assertive, social, low expressiveness, self-reliant, and positive about people. So the more the candidate's box is on the right side of the personality trait is better, except for expressiveness, which you will notice has a line that is on the left side of the box. So that means is that the candidate should be less expressive, and this is being more reserved and listening personality. The two personality traits of serious-minded and accommodating, while not predictive, there are no lines next to them, you will notice. This is information that hiring managers should know. Is the candidate serious about the job? And do they have a win-win selling style? A candidate's traits are weighted, so they need to have the right combination to have a greater than 50% chance to be successful in mortgage origination. The second box on the report is sales knowledge, which provides the hiring manager information on what the candidate knows about consultative selling. While sales knowledge does not predict sales success, it helps the manager to know what training the person will need when they join their sales team. It's important to know that just because the candidate is experienced, that does not mean that they do not need sales training. Also, when a manager knows the particular training need of the person, the training will be that much more impactful. The third box on the report is about motivation of the person. When a manager knows the specific motivation of the salesperson, the manager will have a more effective interaction with the employee. In mortgage banking, we always think that the person's motivation is about money. But what we see is above average originators typically have high needs for developing expertise and achievement. The important point is that each person is different, and the manager needs to know the individual's motivators so they can provide what the person needs. To summarize, the report contains 3 boxes. The first box of personality traits is what drives the prediction for sales success. When a candidate falls in the avoid box, that means to go no further in the interviewing process with them. Again, avoid means that the person has less than a 50% chance to be successful. The green boxes mean that the candidate should continue in the interviewing sequence since they have a greater than 50% chance to be successful. The next part of the report is the interview probe suggestions, which are specific questions for the manager to ask the candidate on what has been identified as a weakness. Managers love this part of the report, these questions, because they have been customized to the candidate and offer the manager a great opportunity to ask in-depth questions to determine what the person is really about. The report also provides questions to ask third parties regarding the candidate's weaknesses. Of course, check with your employment attorney regarding this practice of third-party references. Finally, the management suggestions part of the report is a summary of all weaknesses of the candidate and what a hiring manager will experience if they were to hire the candidate. Managers like this part of the report because it's written in business language that is easy to understand. It's important to remember that the best use of the assessment is early on in the interviewing process, and also testing all candidates. This would be after the initial screening has occurred. Using the assessment early on, the hiring manager saves time and money by not wasting their time with candidates that are not a match for mortgage origination. As we all know, managers are challenged to separate the order takers from the true salespersons, the talker from the doer. This assessment objectively helps the manager to evaluate the sales candidate's selling talent. Bottom line, a structured interview process and QFS's pre-hire assessment helps managers and their companies generate superior results and lower turnover, a combination that generates long-term growth and a better customer experience. To discuss more in depth the sales pre-hire assessment and our other web-based assessments, such as managers, processors, and underwriters, call or email. For articles and white papers or other important sales issues, go to www.patsherlock.com. Have a great sales day.